So whenever you create a subscriber, you must have seen that the subscriber gets this status as active, right? So whenever we create a new subscriber, it is always in the active state. And you can also see that we have other statuses as well, like bounced, held, right? So we'll understand like what is the meaning of these status, how a subscriber gets, one of these status, and how the status impacts the working of a subscriber or the capability of a subscriber. So the first one, whenever we create a subscriber, it will get an active status. And active means that it can receive the communication, it will not be excluded by Marketing Cloud at the time of the send, and it has not experienced any bounce. It is a very new subscriber, we can say, like, it is capable enough to receive the communication. So it is active and everything is good. Now let's say we are sending this email to this particular subscriber, and because of some reason the email gets bounced. Then Marketing Cloud will automatically change the status of the subscriber to bounced, which means that the subscriber has faced either a soft bounce or the hard bounce. Then what happens? Then it will be marked as bounced. Let's say now in within the 15 days, within like 1 month, the subscriber has faced more than three bounces, either soft or hard. Then what will happen? The like Marketing Cloud will change the status of the subscriber to held, which means that now the subscriber will not receive any communication from Marketing Cloud, and at the time of the send, the subscriber will be excluded, because Marketing Cloud assumes that since the subscriber has received more than three bounces, it means maybe there's some problem with the email address or maybe server and something like that. So there is no point sending the communication further to this particular subscriber. So if the subscriber is in the held status, they will be excluded. Okay, so many times in project we face this issue that there are some customers who are in the held status, and the client says that okay, these are the customers who are not receiving the email communication, and we go back and check, okay, what is the status. So if it is held, it means that they are being excluded by Marketing Cloud at the time of the email send. Next one is the unsubscribe. So whenever we unsubscribe from the email communication, this status will change. There are a couple of ways to unsubscribe. I mean, a subscriber can go to the profile center page or subscription center page and click on the unsubscribe button, and it will be unsubscribed. Also, we can go to a particular subscriber, and if we want to do it from our end, we can do this as well. We'll click on this unsubscribe button, and this status will change to unsubscribed. So let it open. Marketing or sometimes like it is very, very slow. So okay. So it is unsubscribed. What is showing active? So when you hover over this icon, you can see it says unsubscribed, right? And we have this option to activate. And if any subscriber is already active, then we can unsubscribe any subscriber. So let's talk about this one. Okay, so the green symbol says that it is in the active state, and we can unsubscribe this. Okay, now let's talk about one more feature that is called send logging. Mm, Okay, so what happens? Send logging means that we need to log the send information. So whenever the email is sent, we need to capture the information about the send, that okay, to whom we send this email, or when it was sent, and was it a success or error, or these kind of things. But we have already seen that we can track the information about the email sent in the tracking tab. So whenever the email is sent, the marketing cloud automatically tracks all these things. So we go to the tracking sends tab, and then we go over here, and then we can see that when the email was sent, how many opens, how many clicks, and these kind of things, right? So how send logging is different. So send logging allows us to capture the custom information. So what is the meaning of the custom information? So let's say we are sending this email to this particular subscriber, and in this data extension that we are using to send the email, it has got, let's say, 10 fields. Okay. Maybe it has got some personal information like first name, last name, email address, and order ID or something like that, right? It has got, let's say, a couple of fields. So here we cannot track all these things, right? We don't know. For example, if I click on this particular link, and if I want to check that, okay, uh, I can see that, okay, these are the three subscribers to whom we send the communication. But we don't know that if I want to check what is the first name of this customer, or what is the last name of this customer, or maybe what is a customer ID, or maybe any other information that I want to see related to this particular subscriber. Or if I want to see that, okay, what is the order number for which we send this communication to this particular subscriber. So we do not have that capability to capture the custom information if we'll talk about the default or the out of the box tracking thing. So for that, we have this feature called send logging. And let me share you one use case with you. So I was working on one project, and what happened is that by mistake, I mean, when we were sending the email communication, by mistake, there was some mistake in a billing amount. So it was supposed to be $100, but by mistake, I think it was $200. Now, now the customer, raise the complaint and say that, okay, my billing amount is incorrect. It has to be 100, and why it is 200. Now the client comes to us and then say, "Ki, okay, there's, I think, some mistake in the email message. Can you please check, like, is it the mistake from your end, or like from where this mistake happened?" So if we'll check the tracking tab, we don't know key like what was the information that was sent to the customer, right? We only know, okay, these are the customers to whom we have sent, but what all information that we have sent, we don't have any idea. For that, what we can do, I mean, let's say if we have one data extension where we are capturing that what all information we are sending to the customer, so that in future, if something like this happens, we can go to the data extension and we can see that, okay, this is the customer ID, let's say 001. We have sent this communication to this customer, and what all information that we have sent, let's say the billing amount was this, and or maybe any other information that we are capturing in the data extension. So there are a couple of use cases and a couple of benefits if we capture the custom information in a data extension. So how do we do that? So let's take a look at it. So we have to create a data extension. So let me create it over here and show you. So we will click on the create button and click on the standard data extension and click on OK. Now here we will go to create from template, and then we have one um, out of the box template called send log. So we'll click on this and click on OK. Let's say, okay, this is fine. Click on next, click on next. And so whenever we create a data extension using a template, we always get this, pre-populated fields. And these fields are non-editable, so we cannot either delete these fields, we cannot modify these fields, right? This will be as it is. But if you want to add any additional field, we can do that. So this is a email send log, and we have SMS send log as well. Okay, let's talk about this one first. So this is if you want to create a send log for the email communication, then we have to select the template called send log. Okay. And if you want to create a send log for the SMS communications, then we have to create a template then we have to choose a template called SMS send log if you want to capture the SMS communication in data extension. Okay, so if we'll choose email send log, then what will happen that we will have to choose the template, and we will get these fields pre-populated: job ID, list ID, batch ID. I'll explain you all these things in a while. Okay, so let me click on create button, and then you will see that um, it is not allowing us to create a send log data extension. So why it is happening? Because we already have one send log data extension created in the same account. Uh, So Marketing Cloud says that you can only have one SendLog data extension in a single account. And why is that? Because it makes sense. Let's say if we have multiple SendLog data extension in the single account, and every time we send one email communication, the data extension will capture, like all the data extension will capture the same information, like what is the subscriber key, error code, whatever it is, it will capture the same information. So it doesn't make any sense that capturing the same information is storing the same information in multiple data extensions. So that is why Marketing Cloud has restricted us to create only one data extension, one send-out data extension in a single account. So we have already created this. So that is why we don't have the permission, or we don't have the capability to create another one. Yeah. So you must have seen that. So you have already seen that we have all these fields, right? These six fields will be pre-populated: job ID, list ID, batch ID, sub ID. So job ID, we discussed that whenever we send email communication, a job ID will be created and it will be associated with a particular email sent. What is the list ID? So whenever we send the email, a list will be associated, either a all subscribers list or any other list that you are using to send the email. Batch ID. So batch ID, what happens is that whenever we have, let's say, a large batch of emails, let's say 1 lakh emails. So all these 1 lakh emails will not be sent in one particular go, right? In one particular batch. So what happens? All the email sends will be, separated into separate batch, or it will be divided into multiple batches. And then let's say if we have 100 emails, or let's say 1 lakh emails, then a batch of, let's say, 10,000 emails will be created, and then it will be sent. So based on the capability of the MT, the batch will be divided into multiple small batches. So it says what was the batch number when we send this email. So it will capture, like it will create one report for one subscriber. So let's say if we have 10 different subscribers to whom we are sending this email. Let me do one more thing. So we have sent a couple of emails. Let me see if the information was captured or not. So if you want to access the data extension, we have two different places. One is Email Studio and another one is the Contact Builder. So, but the limitation over here is that we can only access top 200 records. But if you want to access beyond that, we have to access the data extension from the Contact Builder. So we'll go to Contact Builder to access the data extension. So let's go to SendLog folder, and then here we have this data extension called SendLog template. We'll go to reports, and let's go to last page. I think the information was not captured. Okay. Um, okay, so job ID, list ID, and batch ID, and then subscriber ID is a attribute of the subscriber. So we discussed that there are two unique attributes of a subscriber key and the subscriber ID, which cannot be duplicated. So sub ID is the subscriber ID of the subscriber, and the trigger send ID. So if we are sending the email to a trigger send, then it will be generated. Error code if there is any error in the uh, email message. So let's do one thing. Let's trigger the email, and then we will capture all this information, and then we will see that whether it is logging the email send information or not. Okay. So these are the following sends which supports send logging. So user initiated, triggered, A/B test, guided, and Salesforce send. So if we are trying to send the email using a test send, then we don't have the option to capture this information in the send log data extension. So if you want to capture this information in the send log data extension, then we have to use any of these email sends option. So we will take the normal route for now, and let's go to the content. So right now we have how many records? So we have 3,357 records. So when we send the email to three subscribers, it will be 360. Okay, so before sending the email, so we want to capture the custom information, right? But how marketing cloud identifies key, like what all information has to be captured? So it basically takes the value from the data extension, which is being used for the sending. So we are going to use this data extension. Let me duplicate the system. So we'll go to data extensions and then we will see what all fields that we have in the data extension. So let's go to this folder. Sorry, let's go to this folder. And we have three records over here. So what happens, the fields that we have over here, if the name of the field matches the name of the field in the SandLoad data extension, then it will be captured. So all these six fields, is pre-populated and we don't need to worry about it. But if we want to capture any additional information, then we have to create additional field in the SandLoad data extension. So let's say I want to capture the customer ID of the customer to whom we are sending. So what I'll do, I'll click on the create attribute button. I'll Okay, we already have the customer ID. Okay, so we already have the customer ID. And we have location, email address. Okay, so what will happen? The name of the fields which are exactly matching. For example, first name, email address. So we have first name, email address, right? So they will be captured, but state, city, zip code. So we don't have the field here for the state, city, and zip code, right? So this information will not be captured. And the fields like phone number, location. So these fields we do not have in the data extension. So there's no way the marketing cloud can fetch the information for these fields. So these fields will be null. But for all the fields, marketing cloud can find the matching field here in the sendable data extension. They will be captured. Okay. So now let's do one thing. Let's send this. So we say that the information is correct and we click on the send button. So now what will happen? The email will be sent to the subscribers that we have in our data extension. Okay. So it says that the profile center link is missing. So what we need to do? We need to add the profile center link. So how do we add it? We have to add the code snippet here. We'll click on this profile center and we should be good to go. So I'll click on save and send. Click on next button. We need to choose the audience. Uh, This is the checkbox retail settlement data. So if we check this checkbox, then only we will be able to capture the send log information. But if you do not check this checkbox, then what will happen? We won't be able to capture the send log information, the send log data extension. So if we like it is flexible, if you want to capture, we can check this checkbox. If we don't want to capture, we can uncheck this checkbox. So we'll click on the next button and so first of all, we will go to the tracking tab to see whether the email is sent or not. Or let's do one thing. We will directly go to this tab. So if you want to refresh the data extension from the contact builder, I mean, one way is that we refresh the entire page. The another way is that because the entire page contains different components. So this is a different component, and the above one is a different component. So instead of refreshing the entire page, we are interested in refreshing the a particular component. So what we will do, we will click on add button and we'll cancel this. So what will happen? The component which resides inside this will be updated. Okay. So now we can see earlier there were how many records? For this we will do refresh. Mm, okay, let me refresh this. We had 3000 and I think 357 records. So now we have sent the email to 3 subscribers. So it should be 3360. So we will go to data extensions and here we will go to send log folder. So now we have 3360 reports and we will go to the last page, which is 135. And we can see, so what's happening, it is, so the job ID will remain same, right? So for this particular send, job ID will remain same because we are sending one email only. And the list ID will also remain same because we are choosing the all subscribers list. And because they all were clubbed into a single batch because we don't have large number of subscribers. So it says the batch ID was 1, and the subscriber ID will be different, right? For each subscriber, it cannot be same. So we have 306, 307, 308. So we have three different. So the subscriber ID will always remain same for the same subscriber. So if you see this one, so for Infas, the subscriber ID this is this one, right? So it will always be this one. And we were capturing the custom information like first name, email address, and customer ID. So why phone number and the location could not be captured? Because we do not have the matching field in the sendable data extension. If we had that, then it would have captured this field in the send log data extension. So any doubt, like how do we capture the information? Why do we capture the information? What is the entire process? What are the different use cases? Um, So now I think we are pretty much done with the email studio. So we discussed about the subscribers, data extension lists. We discussed about the different types of the sense that we have, and then A/B testing and the tracking, and then form address and classification nodes, and then the stand logging. Okay. So now we will see the content part, that how we can create the content uh, in the content builder. One thing that this is the same interface, or is the same application we are able to access from email studio as well, right? So when we go to email studio and we go to content, so the same thing we can access from here as well, and from the content builder. Then what is the difference between like, I mean, why marketing cloud will give the same thing at two different places? There has to be some differences. So if you look at this one and if you look at this one, it is exactly the same, right? So the only difference is that when we access the content builder from email studio, we only have the capability to create the content related to the email communication. Okay, so we can create the email messages, email templates, and all. So if I'll click on this create button, you will see all the options related to the email message, email templates, email content blocks, and upload. But when we access the content builder from the content builder application, then what will happen? We are, not limited just to the email communication, but we can create the assets, or we create the content for the source channel communication. So we have now the capability to create the SMS message, push notifications, in-app messages, right? So the first difference is that content builder allows us to create the content for multiple communication channels. But if we access it from the email studio, then we can only create related to the email communication. The another difference is that here we have the content. Let's say, so in email studio is a you know application which is exclusive to email communication, and we can do anything and everything related to the email communication, right? If you want to create the content, if you want to send the email, whatever it is, we are free to do anything related to the email. So we have this send option over here, but the content builder is meant to develop the content, design the content, and not for sending the content to the subscriber. So if you will go to the same email over here, you will not get the option to send the email, right? So you have this option to share, you have the option duplicate and all these things, but this option to send the email is not available in the content builder. So these are very minor differences that you might come across. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about the content builder for a while. So as we can see, it is a very easy to use interface. We have to, just, so it is a very rich UI. Uh, and we'll see that how we can use the drag and drop functionality to design the email and to create the email. So it's very rich in UI, and if somebody doesn't know the HTML, we can design the email using the content builder. So we have the out of the box content blocks. Using that, we can do this. If somebody knows the HTML, well and good, we can use the HTML code and we can create the email from the scratch as well. Whenever we create the email message, we can see the preview in real time, right? It doesn't happen that we are creating this email message and after 1 hour or after 1 day, we'll be able to see the preview. Or we have to send the email and then we can only see the preview. So, the moment we make the changes on my right hand side, we can see this preview, right? So it is like, so these editors are called like what you see is what you get. So, and then we saw some of the code snippets that we can insert, like open tracking, physical mailing address, and these kind of things. So that is something we can do in the content builder. So we'll explore more about the content builder. So these are just some features that are highlighted. So, okay, so in a content builder, as the name says, we are going to build the content, right? So content means at the end of the day, we are going to build the email message because we need to send the email message. Now, every email message is made up of the content blocks, right? Typically, if you see that whenever you receive the email message in your inbox, it contains different sections. So it has some headers, it has body, it has footer. Inside the body, it has different sections. It has got some couple of images or maybe some buttons or some text or maybe some, image carousel or something like that. So it is not just all the text, but it contains different components or different section or different blocks, you can say, right? So Marketing Cloud says that, okay, what you can do, first of all, you can create different types of content blocks, that image block or maybe button or it may be text. And once you have all these things in place, we can combine all these content blocks and create one email message, so that we don't need to, so that we have the better controls over the image, over the email message. So let's say if you just want to change one image, so we don't need to, change everything in the email. So we just have to replace that one content block in the email message. So first of all, we will see the different types of content blocks that we have. We have button, code snippet, dynamic content, HTML, free form, and all these things. So we'll be discussing about all these things one by one. So let's move on. And so the first content block that we have that we're going to discuss is the text content block, which is a very simple one. Okay. So let's say we have placed one order on Amazon, and what needs to happen is that okay, and this says that okay, your order has been confirmed, right? Whatever the order that we have placed, that is confirmed now. So the email message will contain some, brand logo, some images, some text. So here we are going to write the text that will be there in my email message. So what I can say hello, and then customer name. Okay. I can say, hello customer, or maybe if I want to personalize this, now I know that how we can personalize this, right? So instead of writing a generic customer, what we can say, uh, we can include the personalization string. That is the name Okay, and if you'll choose that data extension, so what we will do, we will use hello first. Okay, so what will happen? It will say hello Rahul or whatever the first name is stored in the data extension. It will populate that thing. And then we can write something like this. Thank you for shopping with us. We would like to let you know that your order is confirmed. Something like that. And then maybe it will have some, a table. Maybe we can design a table inside this. So we can select the number of rows, columns, and these kind of things. And let's say click on OK. And then let's say it says, like let's say if we have a couple of orders. So order number and order description or something. Okay. I mean, based on the requirement, we can design the email using the text block. So we have all these, editing options that we get in Word, Microsoft Word. So we can, bold the text. For example, if you want to bold it, we can bold it, italic, underline. If you want to align this in center, left, right, create a table or something like that. If you want to add a personalization, if you want to change the font size, font style, or whatever, we can do it. Right? If you want to add a link, we can do that. So this is the normal editor that we let's say order number OD001 and this is say, next. So in any content block, now we'll be discussing more content blocks, as we move forward. So we'll be discussing more content blocks. So in any content block, we have three different sections. One is the content where we are writing the content or where we are developing the content. Another one is the block setting. The block setting applies on the entire block, right? Uh, so the block has some boundary. So what we can do, we can have a border. So let's say if I want to have a border of black color, and click on OK. So this is my entire content block, right? This is the entire box. Now, if I want to style the entire box, I can do with the help of the background. Let's say I want to have a gray background here. So this will look something like this. And then if you want to add some spacing between the border and the content, how I can do that with the help of the padding. So let's say if I want to have a padding of 25 pixel, so what it will do, it will have some space between my border and the actual content. Now the margin also adds some spacing between your, border and the actual content. They like border and just the body of the email message. Okay. So if you want to add the space between the body and the between the email message itself and the border of the content block, then you can add some margin. And if you want to have some space in between the content and the border, then you can add some padding. So these are the styling options that we can choose if we want to style the content block. Next, we have the HTML editor. So whatever we write in the content, the HTML code for that will be automatically generated. So what happened? Uh, so if you are familiar with the HTML, then you know that we can use this B bold tag, B tag for the if you want to make any text bold. BR tag is for the break line, right? If you want to have a break or if you want to have a space between two different lines, we can use the BR tag. So whatever we are writing over here, the HTML code, the corresponding HTML code will be automatically generated. So we don't need to worry about the HTML code. We can only just write the content over here and the HTML will automatically be generated. So for someone who doesn't know the HTML, we can write it in the text block. That is also fine. Or if somebody is familiar with the HTML, they can also write the HTML code over here. Okay. So when we'll do the preview and test, we will be able to see that it says hello, first name, and all these things. And it will be, like exclusive, or it will be different for different customers. Okay. Now let's move on to different content block, that is free form. Okay, so you can see the similar options here. So anybody can spot the difference between the free form and the text block. I mean, we can see all the similar options, right? But there's one difference. There's one difference in terms of the option. One option is additional here. Okay, so what we can do, we can also add the images over here along with the text. So let's say if I want to write something like this, that let's say below are some recommendations based on your uh, order history. Okay, and what I want to do, I want to increase the size. It's 80. And I can add some of the images. So maybe we can add some images, like it could be any other earphone or headphones or maybe mobile phone. So that is something you can request. So I'm just adding any random image for now. Okay, and we click on OK. So what will happen? That it will insert this images, and let's say we can have this images and some text or something like that. So in free form, we can have images and the text, and all these things will apply here as well. All the block settings, we can have the background, border, spacing, and all these things. And the HTML code will be automatically generated, whatever we do here in the content. Okay. So let me save this. So we click on the save button and then save it as full form. Yeah. Next one is the image content block. So if you want to just insert one image, what we can do, we can have this image content block. So here we can browse the image. So we can upload all these images from our local system as well. So that is. So let's add this one. So this is the image that we want to add. and this could be our logo image, right? And if you want to change the height and width, we can do that. So let's say if I want to change it to, so this is the, so let's say we have 200 pixel, 600, and I want to make height as 150. Okay, so the width will automatically be adjusted, but if you want to control the width and height on our own, this is the lock icon, right? So when we click on this, it will be unlocked. Unlocked means now we have the full control over the height and width. So I want to make it 600, and this should be 150. So if this lock icon will be locked, then what it will do, it will auto adjust the height and width. Okay, that is fine. Now, after the dimensions we have set, we have this option of the alternative text. So in case the image is not available, maybe let's say we have deleted this image from our account, and then now it is, not loading on the client side. It is not loading on their email client. And what will happen, or because of any other reason the image is not loading, at least the alternative text will appear over there. So we can say this is Northern Rail Outfitters logo. So in case the image is not loading, the alternative text will appear. And then we have the image settings, so we can set the border, we can set the image padding. Uh, if you want to add some spacing, if you want to align this like right align, left align, center align. And if you want to add a link, so somebody clicks on this, let's say they will be related to the website of Northern Rail Outfitters. So for now, let's the link of google.com, www.google.com. So what will happen that whenever we click on this thing, they will be redirected to google.com. And then we have the blog settings. On the blog settings, the setting will be, or the styling will be applied on the entire blog, and the HTML editor will generate the necessary code automatically. So we can say image blog.